Hey friends, Wayne over here at the Ram Man Inc. Don't forget the ink. Hey, today I'm going to talk about lock and hub installs and mishaps. And brain freezes, common sense tossed out the window, what we call benchtop mechanics and engineers. And what I'm fixing to tell you is true. This is true on my mother's life and my kids. This is true, which I'm fixing to share with you. So, we had a client one time, the newer Big Bearing Hub 2009 hub, and these hub spacers, they go right here. Most people could tell that they go right there. That's the specs right on the rotor and the caliper. So, he calls us up and sends a picture, and he tells us that we've sent the wrong hub or the wrong plate because he can't get this. He can't get his plate to go on. The pattern won't match. True story. It's in our booklet. We had another old boy. Here's the rotor spacers. You put them on like that. He's like, where do the spacers go? It's in the booklet with big, huge picture. Where do they go? Well, they go right here. They keep the spacing right, and their gap on the rotor to help it stay cool, and some design characteristics. Lower surface area. It's the heat from the rotor that destroys bearings. It's the heat from the rotor that destroys bearings. So he's like, well, I'm not going to put them on because I don't like them. A couple days later, he called up, said his stuff wouldn't fit. He put the spacers on, and it's beautiful, and he loves it. We had another old boy in the beginning. We're going to talk about stub shafts real quick because we got a client right now that had some trouble. So, the gap right here on a Mopar is about 2.920 or 2.910. We'll say 910, 920. And the gap on a Ford right here is 3 inches. Now, we use the Ford shafts because they're the Dana 60 shafts, and everybody uses these shafts. This is a Ford system that we have modified slightly that bolts up to our Dodge trucks. It's everywhere. It's in every video. It's in every booklet. It's in everywhere. Ford Super Duty has been proven by the millions out there. Millions. So, some people talk about their U-joints going in, and there's a 30 thousandths gap between the clips, and let me tell you something. U-joints are not held in by the clips. U-joint caps are not held in by the clips. If your U-joint caps are held in by the little clips, then your shit's all effed off to begin with. Yeah, I said it. Your shit is all effed off. They're a press fit. They should be very, very tight, and that's what holds them in place. These little clips are to prevent the cap from exiting the yoke in some type of catastrophic failure. Catastrophic failure. They don't hold the cap tight. They don't hold it in place. That's not what they were designed to do. They're like a cotter pin on a bolt and a nut. The cotter pin does not hold the bolt in place. It doesn't hold the preload. It is to keep the nut from coming completely off like a spindle. We had an old boy a few years ago. He took it to some place. Oh, it won't fit and all this stuff. Spent about $300 and machined some, I don't know what they did. Let me tell you folks something. We have thousands of these on the road now. I didn't say 10. I said thousands. Thousands. When a U-joint is put in here, when across, it can move a little bit. When it is attached to the other side, they center and they cannot move by definition. They cannot move. Enough of him. Yeah. We had a shop call us up, told us that we were putting out a bad product. It was California. It was a transmission shop and it was a dually. And they sent us this picture right here. This is the wheel adapters, the factory wheel adapters that we machine so that they'll fit over the hubs. We just cut them out about 100,000 right here for the registers. So they sent us this picture right here. And they told us that our stuff was all effed up. Failure of design. We had no quality control. We had tied up their bay and blah, 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 blah. So I called them up and I said, "Where's the rotor?" There's a long pause. Oh my God. Oh man, I'm sorry about that. I guess I just had a brain freeze and all that. I apologize for all them nasty messages I sent and what a doofus. It's September the 12th, 2018. We had a guy about a month ago. These, what we call them for real, these are the benchtop mechanics, right? They're scared of the thing to begin with. They're scared of it even though it's real easy. So they'll get all their parts out like they were taught them. Doing this and I don't know, I haven't seen anything like that and I don't know if it'll work. And he tells us the bolt pattern's wrong. Then it's off by 1/4 of an inch. We're like, "Hey dude, we only do one bolt pattern and we've done like 5,000. Oh, okay. No, I've measured it and I know and I'm gonna have to send it back. Okay. 48 hours later, we hadn't heard from him, we called him up. "Oh yeah, my wheels fit, Let me see. So, we used to use the Warren lockouts. They have a much wider cast aluminum gear here that is not as strong as this mile marker. The new design, we use the mile markers. This is a billet unit. There are no plastic parts in their unit whatsoever. And so, it's not quite as long. So, we don't have to spline these back as far. So, this is the design improvement for the mile marker hubs. Yeah. No need for custom U-joints. I asked Kate to check. I think I was wrong a little bit. There's like 1,980 on the road. One did custom U-joints, and one conned some machine shop and actually welding on here and ripped it. I don't know. We put a page in there in the directions, and it talks about these questions, these dumb questions. If this pertains to you, you probably ought not to be doing the mission. Probably ought not to be doing the mission. Anyway, we made these things simple, my friends. You put them together, it's one piece. We've got videos. Look, slide your old one off, slide the new one on as one piece. Slide it on as one piece. We get these over and over in the booklets in every video. Every now and then we'll get somebody with a picture like this. And the stub shaft going through. there's a little bit of play right here, right? Just like the old days. It can be a little bit more difficult to line this up with this, and it can be, it's not that it's impossible, but it can be just slightly a little bit more difficult. So we tell people, put it on, it's one piece. That reminds me, I've had some people that tried to do that, and they've told us that the splines are wrong and they don't match up. So we said to them, take the puck off and do this right here. And do that right there. I don't need to. I already know. You don't understand. I did it on the truck right there. I don't need to take it off. I don't need to do that. I know they're wrong. If you think that we're going to send out, now we only do 4 splines here. And we check each one that we ship out. That's right. We call them benchtop mechanics and benchtop engineers. Oh yeah, I remember an old man, one of the first 5,500 guys, told me, up in Nebraska, well digging service. He says to us, after he gets them and unpacks them, he says, it's true on the kid's life, people. There's no way that it can work. He said, it's impossible for this to work because you have to have a nut on the end. Well, locking hubs have been out since 1948 with Arthur Warren, who designed locking hubs on the Jeeps back from World War II. This is the Ford design. This man is arguing with me, telling me that it'll never work. So he says to me, well, I'm going to go to the diner in the morning. I got some old boy, he's like 70. Well, we've been wrenching all of our lives, and we know what fits. And what'll work, and won't work. And he comes back a few days later. It ain't got no place for a nut. And if you can't put a nut on the end of a shaft, if you can't put a nut on the end of a shaft, there's no way it'll work. I said to him, you ain't got anything to hold the stub shaft in, he tells me. I said, what do you mean you don't have anything to hold the stub shaft in? Where's it going to go? Is it going to come out the front and end up on the side of the road in the ditch? Is it going to go through the carrier and end up in the other ditch? Where's it going to go? Well, I don't know where it's going to go, but it's got to have a nut on it. I've told you it won't work without a nut. You've come up with a system that won't work, and I'm sorry that you spent all that money developing that thing and that time and effort, but it'll never work. That was the spring of 2015. Never will forget that old dude. He was up in Nebraska. Anyway, everybody has a brain freeze. Everybody has a moment. Keep it simple. Keep it common sense. This was not designed to be funny. Everything I've said is true, and it is nearly word for word. God bless you. God bless America. And happy trucking. Bye.